Hi, how's everybody doing? It is a Sunday video update, the final Sunday video update for the month of February. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the J-Bear. Today's date is Sunday, February 26th, 2023. Joining me off camera, well, my dad would usually be sitting on the couch, but I think he's in the bathroom right now. He'll be out any minute. And then Amy is off camera over on this couch that you can't ever see because it's off camera, but you can hear her voice. Anyway, dad will be out in a little bit. He's taking care of some business. I hope you've all been doing well and I hope you had a wonderful week. My week was it was okay. Um so last week was President's Day. Well, or last Monday, I guess, was President's Day, so we didn't get mail delivery, but I've been busy recording some videos and putting some new content together for this channel. So the first of a series of videos that I'm actually in the middle of recording. The first will appear this Friday, and then next Friday, and then next Friday, and so on and so forth. I'm planning on putting together some additional content for this channel, so make sure that you are subscribed and check it out. And what else did I want to mention? Oh, yeah, the chat log is open in the live stream right now. So come on in, behave yourselves, or get the fuck off boot into Purple Oblivion. But anyway, I'm doing well. So some things have happened last week. Um, Not really anything bad, just questionable. Like one of my friends, I think her account on Facebook was compromised because she said that I was lyric pranked. And I don't want to give a name because it's not important, but she says or that I was lyric pranked. And then afterwards, she ended up unfriending me. And it's like, well, that was weird. And so I contacted this person, the text message. I almost said messenger. I contacted the person via text messenger or yeah, text message, not text messenger. Holy shit. Um, but I contacted them and they said that there's a good chance that the account may have been hacked or compromised because other people have been deleted off their Facebook and they are in the process of getting that worked out and getting all the kinks smoothed out so that way we can reconnect on social media. Um, I didn't fret. I didn't worry about it because I can still keep in contact with those people. And if there is if there is an issue, of course, we get that situated and we get it smoothed over, we straighten it out. But there is no issue, like there's no beef other than the fact that the person's account may have been hacked. And I have a wonderful time putting these asshole scammers in their place. Um, I get friend requests from people whose names are familiar, faces I'm familiar with. I know these people. But then I get messages in Messenger about drop me your Cash App. If I deposited $3,000 into your Cash App, what would you do with it? That was the last message that I got from this hacker spammer. And I said, well, the first thing I would do is I would block your bitch ass, which I'm going to do now for free. Bye, bitch. And then I ended up blocking them. And then I had taken a screenshot and I shared it on my Facebook and said, another one bites the dust. Another asshole has been verbally nuked in Messenger, and I'm done playing games. Here comes my daddy. There's my daddy. It might be hard to see him because of the glare from the light, but I told you he'd be back out. But other than that, I mean, it's been a pretty good week. I do have a busy week ahead, other than recording extra content for this YouTube channel. Um, March 2nd, of course, I have to be in Ann Arbor with my mom for a consultation to find out what's going on with her bladder cancer and what they plan to do, like a chemo regimen or whatever they have to do. Um, and of course, it is going to be the 34th anniversary of my diagnosis with Wilms tumor, which I'm not even focused on that because honestly, nobody else gives a fuck but me. So I'm just going to keep it to myself, I think. And I think most people on Facebook have forgotten it anyway. Like it shouldn't matter to anybody else but me. But 34 years is a long time. I actually texted one of my friends from the oncology world. Her son just had a milestone. It's been quite a while since his diagnosis, and I congratulated. And I said, well, this coming Thursday is going to be 34 years for me. I said, and if I can make it this far, I know your warrior can make it just as far, if not further. And she appreciated that. So there's still a lot of people I talk to, I keep in contact with. Um, I don't know. Facebook's kind of, I don't know. It's just weird. Just everything about Facebook is weird. I came back. I came back not trying actually. I just wanted to have Messenger without an account. And then the friends requests started to pour in by the dozens because obviously everybody loves Jer Bear, right? So they started to send me friend requests, and it's like, fuck it, I might as well just keep it up. Just leave it up and be more judicious with the block feature and telling people to go fuck themselves. And if you come on my Facebook being a dick, I'm going to show you the door. And it's just like here on YouTube. If anybody comes into my chat log, I don't have a problem telling anyone to fuck off. I've done it before many times, and I don't have a problem doing it again. But with Facebook, I'm more, like I said, I'm more judicious with the block button, and I don't add people that I don't know. But I always say, like, if you're going to add me as a friend on Facebook, at least tell me how you found me, so that way I can get a general idea. Did you find me from YouTube, or are you a mutual friend of one of my friends? I'd like to kind of know how we got to know each other, or how you found me, or whatever. It's just interesting to know, because I can spot a fake almost instantly. And this one person who is actually a spammer was pretending to be someone that I already know, and I could smell it right away. Well, if I drop $3,000 into your Cash App, well, fucker, you don't have $3,000. And if you did, why would you willingly be giving away $3,000 to a perfect stranger? It's really weird. Facebook has gotten really weird, and it's gone to a weird place. Dad has an appointment, I think, tomorrow morning in Saginaw. What's that? He's got to have a CT scan done. He can't drink any pop or anything. He's got to load up on water. Yeah, we got all kinds of water. We got that. It's called Core Water, and they're fairly decent sized bottles for those of you who are familiar with Core Water. Amy drinks a lot of it. Dad's right here. I'll show you. I feel I should be paid for doing this free advertisement for Core Water. I'll get the residual checks in the mail, right, Core? But anyway, this is what it looks like, and I guess it's really good. I don't drink Core Water, but
it hydrates you better.
It's not beer. Dad says, well, no, it doesn't have barley and hops in it, but
you could put barley and hops in it.
Yeah. You were telling me, we were at the Back 40 the other night, and you were telling me how you went, and it's kind of personal, but not really. He went to the bathroom, and he said he urinated blood, and there were little like pieces coming out. And maybe we're thinking he had either a kidney stone or a gallstone or something going on, and he just didn't know about it, which might have explained why your gut was hurting you.
That's what I was wondering, because I know that's what mine did when I had gallstones.
Maybe it just broke up inside, and then. But yeah, Dad says it's not bothering him now, which is a good thing, because I didn't know about it. He never mentioned anything to me about that.
He mentioned that the doctor said he doesn't have a blood clot now.
Right, no blood clots, no blockages or nothing.
Someone started taking his aspirin again.
Okay. All right. Yeah, you got to be careful. So there's a little bit going on.
Then tomorrow, when you guys get back from Saginaw, Dad's got to take me to a Wausau.
Oh, you got an appointment tomorrow?
Yeah. Well, it's not really an appointment. I just got to walk in and fill out some paperwork so that I can start with my counselor on the 28th.
Right.
Over phone.
Right. Oh, and there's something else happening this week too. How could I have forgotten this? My oldest brother Wayne celebrates a birthday on February 28th.
46.
Yeah, he's going to be 46 years old. So if you
You're catching up to me, Wayne.
so if you know my brother Wayne, make sure that you wish him a very happy birthday on the 28th of February. Hey Rye Guy, what's happening? My buddy Riley's in chat. What's happening, Rye Guy? Good to see you, my man. But yeah, my brother Wayne, my oldest brother, has a birthday coming up on the 28th of February, which is on Wednesday, I believe. Or is it Tuesday? Today's Sunday. Yeah, it is Tuesday because today's Sunday, the 26th, and then, yeah, Tuesday. It'd be on Tuesday, the 26th. So if you know my brother Wayne, and if you're familiar with these videos, wish the old man a happy birthday, will you? And then, yeah, on March 4th, on next week, next Sunday, is my brother Jay's birthday. And on the 2nd is my Uncle Danny's birthday. So there's a lot of birthdays coming up. There's a lot going on. Quiet. He's probably got to go outside. But there's a lot going on. Lots of birthdays to celebrate. Riley says, nothing much. I'm at a concert. I'm just checking in. I'll text you later. Love you. Oh, okay. You're at a concert. Well, that's cool. Enjoy your concert, Rye Guy. And I love you too, bud. I love you too, brother. I'll talk to you later. Yeah, please text me. Yeah, it's my buddy Riley. I don't know if he's attending a concert or if he's a musician in the concert because I know he plays a musical instrument. He's already barking to get in. But anyway, I'm pretty sure he is a musician. I think he plays an instrument. So yeah, I love you too, Riley. I'll text you later, buddy, or you can text me. Either way, it doesn't matter. But yeah, there's a lot of birthdays coming up, lots happening. Yeah, there's just so much going on. He wants in because if you don't let him in, he's going to continuously bark and it's going to be a distraction and I'm going to lose my shit. And this fucking dog out here howls all the time. I love dogs, make no mistake, but it does get annoying after a while. I'm not going to lie. If he's not barking, he is definitely howling. And I understand he just doesn't want to be outside by himself, but he's got to shut the fuck up sometimes. You know what I mean? Like it does get annoying. But so much is going on. And like I said, I'm going to have some new content in addition to the daily rants, potentially in addition to the daily rants. For some reason, the recording software on the computer in my bedroom is going AWOL. I don't know why it malfunctions and does what it does. Like the computer goes into standby mode when I'm in the middle of trying to get something set up to record from my headset, because my headset has a microphone piece that comes down. And for some reason or another, that computer just, fuck it, I'm going into standby mode. Doesn't matter what you're doing. Doesn't matter if you're in the middle of anything. I'm just going to go into standby mode and fuck off Jared. Well, so I just discovered that I have a voice recorder on my smartphone or on my iPhone, and I might be using that instead. So there still might be daily rants, and of course, what you hear. I don't know if you can hear that, but he's howling. I don't know if you can hear that, but he's really howling out there. But anyway, there's still gonna be daily rants. I'm still gonna have the extra content that I mentioned. There's going to be a video on Friday, and I'm not going to tell you what the subject is because I want it to be a surprise. I want for everybody to just be amazed, or not, maybe if not amazed, at least be interested. Whether or not you're amazed is entirely up to you. I don't think it really matters much to me, but I will be adding some extra content to this channel. So make sure you're subscribed and hit the bell the notification bell, then click all. And then, that way you'll be notified of all new content, including this live stream, which I actually think the live streams are more convenient than pre-recorded Sunday video updates like I used to do in the past. Although with Sunday video updates, I could, the pre-recorded Sunday video updates, I could go through and add words on the screen, and I could, just tell, like when I used to promote GuideStar in the middle of all that bullshit that was going on, I used to promote GuideStar and tell people to check GuideStar. That way you'll be notified and you'll actually know which nonprofit organizations are legitimate and which ones aren't. And a lot of people, that was a go-to argument when people were actually coming at me. They would say, well, what, you're not promoting GuideStar this week? Motherfucker, I promote a GuideStar every fucking week. What are you talking about? Luckily and thankfully, that's all quieted down and calmed down. I think people got bored and uninterested with me because they thought they had stopped me from doing these, and they only boosted my enthusiasm to continue to do the Sunday video updates. I'm not going anywhere, bitches. You didn't win. Huh? Dan. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that. So, word's out that for those of my local friends who may be watching this, word is out that my good buddy Dan Richards is going to a different station. And I think I said something about this last week, and I couldn't really say until he said it because I didn't want to get him in trouble. But Dan Richards has announced that the Sunday Flashback has found a new home. It's not going to be in Saginaw at WKCQ anymore. It was there for about, I think, 14 years. Dan, on March 19th at 7 o'clock Eastern, the Sunday Flashback will make its debut at 103.9 The Fox in Flint. And I watched an interview with him and Johnny Burke. I've met Johnny many times, hell of a nice guy. The interview was stellar. I mean, Johnny's really excited about Dan coming over and bringing his genre of music because 103.9 the Fox, 103.9 The Fox is Flint's classic rock authority. So when Dan brings his country music genre to 103.9 The Fox, that broadens the spectrum of listeners and all of the music. Now they're going to have a huge collection of music between 103.9 The Fox, their music lineup, and Dan Richards, the Flashback to country music. So there's going to be outlaw country like, Dan Richards is going to play CCR. He is not. I have never heard Dan play CCR ever in my life.
Number one song that has been played, the one that I like, Copperhead Road.
No, that you're talking about the Monday Flashback. I'm talking at the radio station.
That's what he's going to play that too.
Yes, but he has never played CCR.
No.
I have never heard Dan Richards play CCR, and if he has, it was at a time when I wasn't aware of who Dan Richards was, or if he was at a station that I never listened to. I have never heard Dan play any music by Creedence Clearwater Revival. He says he's going to play CCR. He's going to play Willie Nelson, Waylon Jennings. He's going to play all the outlaw country. He's going to play David Allan Coe. I think he's still going to have David Allan Coe. But how awesome is it going to be? What other buddies?
Play in Texas.
Oh, Kinfo. I don't know if he's gonna. But here's the thing. But here's the thing about that too. I'm kind of glad you brought that up too, because now that Dan is at 103.9 The Fox, he will be able to bring in guests as opposed to being at 98 KCQ. No offense to 98 KCQ, but at least here, Dan has some extra wiggle room. He can bring in Kinfo. He can bring in my buddy Waylon Hannell. And yes, I'm good friends with Waylon. I've met him a few times. He's really a great kid. So he's going to actually be able to bring people in the studio, and who knows, they might be able to perform in the studio live on the air. Who knows? I don't know. But Dan is really looking forward to this transition. I'm excited for him. Dan, I'll be seeing you on Monday. I don't know about tomorrow night, because tomorrow is another jam-packed day, unless, it's up to Dad. If, yeah, congratulations, Dan. my buddy Dan Richards, going to 103.9 The Fox starting March 19th. And the Sunday, it's going to be called the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards. It's going to start at 7 o'clock Eastern, and it's going to go until 11 o'clock. So, Dan, congratulations. We are looking forward to that. I can't wait. You know, I actually discovered 103.9 The Fox at the Back 40 because they usually play the Fox, because it's classic rock, and they usually play that radio station at the establishment. And now I've got 103.9. I think it's the first preset on the radio in my van. And now I have another reason to continue to listen to 103.9 The Fox. So once again, the Fox Sunday Flashback with Dan Richards, March 19th at 7 o'clock Eastern Time until 11 o'clock. 4 hours of country music. Make sure you listen. I think you can listen online. I think 103.9 The Fox is a station where you can actually listen online. So I'm not sure if it's just Michigan or if it's worldwide, but it would be cool if it was worldwide. That way you could hear what we hear. It'd be awesome. But yeah, that was one of the big announcements. I'm glad you reminded me because I would have totally forgotten.
What we're here for.
Yeah.
And especially Dad, he remembers more than I do.
We're happy for Dan.
And so
Living the dream.
weather. Let's talk weather. We had one hell of an ice storm here in Michigan. And the ice storm had resulted in a firefighter from Paw Paw, Michigan. He was electrocuted to death. And Michigan is known for ice storms and winter weather, blizzards and winter storms and things like that. But this young man, he was a firefighter in Paw Paw, Michigan, and it is the name of a city in Michigan. It's in the southwest corner of the state. He was only 28 years old, and he was just a young guy. He was supporting his family, doing what he does, and he died as a result of electrocution. It was a down wire because anytime you get ice buildup on power lines or tree branches, enough weight can snap branches and power lines.
Sometimes you don't see him.
Yeah, you can't see them. But that was one of the rough stories. Michigan was actually the hardest hit, and the storm spanned over 2,000 miles wide. And Michigan was like the worst area. It was the hardest hit area from about Lansing south. So if you look at a map of Michigan, and if you draw a line across the southern half of the state, with Lansing being like dead center, all points south of Lansing, south of that line, that was nothing but ice. They had an ice storm, and they're forecasting another icing event this week. It's terrible. There's over, I think, almost 800,000 power outages just in Michigan alone when that storm happened. And there's still, I think, over 100,000. A lot of the power won't be restored until tomorrow at the latest. Monday was the latest restoration time. And they're forecasting yet another icing event. This is why I always tell people when they complain about, we need warm weather. No, we fucking don't. If we're going to get the snow, let's get it. Get it done and over with. So we got that going on. We have another icing event. And my condolences to the fireman who was electrocuted. 28 years old. He had a family. I think Dad said he had 3 children. It's a tragedy. And it's sad when anything like that happens. Yeah. It's terrible. Those firefighters and the linemen and our first responders, emergency personnel, they don't get nearly enough credit for they're putting their lives on the line. They're, handling danger on a daily basis. They're confronted with it, and they don't get nearly enough credit for the hard work they put in. And it's really a shame. It's really a shame. And then we have things like this happening where a young man, he was only 28 years old. He was a firefighter for the Paw Paw Fire Department. It's just a shame. It's just a shame. But it got really bad here. And yeah, and they're talking another ice storm for Michigan. It's not good.
Like tomorrow morning, it's supposed to be
Yeah, it's not good at all.
supposed to get some tomorrow.
I don't mind the snow. I can drive in snow. I've driven in snow. I've driven in the middle of a fucking blizzard.
You drove the other day.
But it wasn't snowing.
No.
I'm talking in the middle of a storm. I've driven in a winter storm. I've driven in blizzards. Not an ice storm. Now, I will say, one year I was going to the Children's Hospital to do a radiothon event. And the roads, and this was back in like January or February of 1 year. I don't even remember what year it was, but the road was a sheet of ice. I slid all the way there to my destination just to find out that, oh, well, you got to take a background check. And I wish you would have told me that before I came all this way, which, by the way, I had taken the background check and I aced it with flying colors. But either way, I have driven on ice. And matter of fact, coming home from my cousin's house one night, because they live up in Gladwin County. Boy, oh boy, I had my Chrysler at the time. And I didn't know it was slippery. And, at nighttime, it's hard to judge the ice because you get black ice too. I spun all the way around. I was going for the ditch. And it's like, oh, fuck, here we go. And luckily, I spun around. But when I spun around, I was facing north, but on the wrong side of the road. And I was the only one out there. And when I left my cousin's house, I had to literally crawl on my hands and knees because their front yard was nothing but ice. It was a complete sheet of ice. And they're laughing at me. But they were laughing at me. It's like I'm glad you think this is amusing, because if I walk to my van, I'm going to fall on my ass. And I think that's what they would have wanted. I would rather they laugh at me crawling than me falling, taking a tumble. But yeah, I've driven on ice, but if I don't have to, I won't. But when I at the time I volunteered at the Children's Hospital, and in my view, in my heart, it's worth the risk for me. Although they say don't drive if you don't have to. Yeah, okay, but I was really heart set on being there and volunteering my time and helping the kids in the hospital. But yeah, we do have a very serious, another storm forecasted. Hopefully this one won't be as bad as the last one. But we are in deep shit in terms of the weather.
At least we didn't have snow like I would have up there up to the waist.
That's what he says. I don't know how true that is
They got some snow.
particularly, but I don't know how true that is particularly. Because and Elwood likes to exaggerate a lot of the time, and so that's why I'm saying I don't know how true it is unless I see pictures or unless I'm there myself. I can verify it myself, but if you know him like I do, yeah, he likes to embellish a little bit. But so in the past, I have mentioned someone who and Dad knows who I'm talking about. There's someone that we know who has a kid, and he doesn't get to see his kid, but he's at the bar all the time. Well, I found out that there's some bad things going on with the kid's mother. I'm not going to get into it here. I don't want to, put too much out there. But I found out there's some bad things going on. So, and I bring this up because I want to point out that it's not just the father. It's not just the father. the mother is just as much at fault. But I will say this is why I don't have kids, because I don't want that problem. I don't want the issues of, okay, if something should happen between me and the mother where I don't get to see my child, she withholds the child from me. I don't get to see my kid, then I got to deal with that drama. So that's one of the reasons why I never had kids, and I'm happy to say that I don't want kids. But it's not always the father, it's not always the mother sometimes, or in this case, it's both. And it's actually worse than I suspected. But I'm going to have a talk with the guy. You know who I'm talking about. I'm going to have a talk with him, and I'll tell you after the show what I know, because I'm not going to say it here. But it's bad. It's worse than I thought. And of course, what I tell you, I'm going to tell him eventually, but I'm going to do it not at you know.
Yeah. But the thing is takes two big parents. When
Yeah.
the only one trying to raise a kid, yeah, that's something else. But on the other hand, sometimes it's better for one to raise a kid than the other. Sometimes it's better not to raise it all and give the kid away.
Well, and it brings me back to the point I had made, and I keep coming back to this point because I think it's really relevant. And that is the fact that there is a difference between being sexually mature and emotionally mature. You can be sexually mature enough to procreate, to conceive a child. However, that does not necessarily mean that you are emotionally mature enough to raise the child, to care for the child, to do everything and anything in your power to protect the child, to make sure that that child is well taken care of. Those are two separate concepts. And every time I point those out to people, they think I'm crazy. Yeah, but they were ready. No, they weren't. They weren't fucking ready. Maybe sexually they were ready. Emotionally, not so much. Because look at all the bullshit that they're going through now. They weren't ready. They weren't prepared. They're not mature enough to be parents. This happens a lot. Sexual maturity does not equate to emotional maturity. And the people who are denying this and saying that I'm wrong, take a look in the fucking mirror sometimes. Are you having issues with the significant other? Do you get to see your kid? If you're someone who has a kid and you're having issues and difficulties with the partner or with the child's other parent, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong. Because sure, you can be sexually mature. I'm not talking about that. You can be sexually mature. You can be sexually mature to have a kid, to procreate and to conceive a child. Great. But if you're not mature enough to be handling situations where you have to care for the kid, and and it goes beyond caring for the child, being faithful to your partner, being faithful to your husband or your wife, and not cheating, and staying with them and not stabbing them in the fucking back. There's that to contend with. You sign up for this, you should be willing enough and ready enough and stable enough to carry the weight of a family. I love being single. I cannot stress it enough. I was in a relationship for 3 months, if you want to call it that. And after seeing her behavior and listening to her say the things that she was saying to me, being abusive, verbally abusive, and accusatory, accusing me of things that I didn't do, things I didn't say, I told her, bitch, you're gone. Goodbye. And I'm happy being single. I wouldn't have it any other way. I don't have the drama. And that's not to say that I'm not emotionally mature for a relationship. I am. If I really wanted to be in a relationship, I probably could. It's not an issue for me, but I choose not to be, because that means I'm also emotionally mature enough to understand that being single is not a bad thing either. I am mature in my thinking to know that I love being by myself. I can do anything I want to do at any time I want. I'm not hunkered down and straddled with responsibilities. Got to take Junior to the doctor. Got to take the wife to get her nails done. Got to do this and got to do that. I don't have that kind of schedule. I'm a flexible guy. That's why I'm planning vacations. I'm going to be going on trips this year. I want to get that. I'm going to be going places. I want to see places and meet people. I have a flexible lifestyle. I can do that. I don't have children to take care of. I don't have a significant other that I have to, satisfy their needs and wants. I can satisfy my needs and wants, and I'm going to do it. But sexual maturity and emotional maturity are not the same. They're not even mutually exclusive. They are two different concepts. And like I said, anybody can be sexually mature. But once you have that kid, are you emotionally mature to handle what is coming your way? People don't think in the long term. They think in the short term. Oh, the sex is great. And hey, raising kids is just like babysitting. The fuck if it is, because babysitting means you get to give your kids back to the parents. But when you yourself become the parent, this is 24/7 around the clock. There is no escape. So if you are a young teen watching this, think about it. Think about what you're going to get yourself into, because a lot of people jump into this without thinking. Well, everybody else is doing it. FOMO, the fear of missing out. I'm telling you, you're not missing out. If you're a single teenager watching this, stay single. Or, do what I do. I have lady friends, and that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to get into the details and the specifics of that, but I have female friends. And that's okay. That's what adults do. But don't commit to something that you are not prepared to follow through with. And that includes children. And I had this little spiel this morning, this little preachy kind of thing, lecture with someone who, for some reason, can't get their heads and their asses wired together. And it's embarrassing. When you're an adult and you care more about, oh, does he love me, than the welfare of your child? Who gives a fuck if he loves you? Leave him. If he's abusive, get out. Pack your shit. And it's not even just physical abuse, it's verbal abuse. If you don't like it, get out. Leave him. And it goes for men too. If you have a woman who's going to accuse you of shit, and if you go through the things that I've gone through with my last relationship, dump her. Get out of the relationship. It's not healthy. But don't stay. Have a backup plan. If things get topsy-turvy and out of hand, you got to have somewhere to go to get the fuck away from this person who's abusive. I don't care if it's a man or a woman.
But if you were in the situation like me, there's no help until someone finally comes along and is able to help get you out of the situation.
And I'm not making blanket statements here, because as Amy pointed out, there may not be the help. There may not be somewhere else to go. But in most cases, I find that these women who complain about their husbands, and the husbands who complain about the wives and such, there are places that they can go. They just like the attention. Well, I love them, but there's nowhere to go. Yes, there fucking is. You just like the attention.
Or they lie about it.
Oh yeah, they lie all the time.
Oh,
They lie all the
I did
time.
it with my bike pedal. I did it with.
I fell down the stairs, or I ran into the door.
Because that was me.
Like when you get that girl and her husband.
Yeah. I know what you're talking. I know what you're talking about. It's a lady friend that I've known for a very long time. Well, her then, I guess, boyfriend, husband. I don't think they were married, but it doesn't matter. But anyway, he was working at the car dealership up here in town, and she needed a ride there to get a credit card or a debit card or something because he had it and she needed it to get some things, and she needed a ride there. She lives in town and the car dealership is out of town. And she asked me, could you give me a lift? Not a problem. Didn't talk sexual to her, didn't try to put the moves on her, nothing, none of that. We talked about general stuff. He got pissed. Well, what are you doing giving my old lady rides? She asked me to. You have something that she needed. I don't know. Why didn't she have the fucking card? Do you not trust her with the card? Or did you just forget to give it to her? Were you in a hurry that morning before you went to work? Yeah. Why didn't she have the vehicle?
If you work there, why do you need it?
It's just, he got mad at me because I had given her a lift. It's like, really, dude, I didn't touch her. I didn't talk sexual to her. Nothing happened. It's not like it's 20 miles away where I have plenty of time to, do the wild thing. It's like a 5-minute drive from where she lived at to the place of his work. It's going to take longer than 5 minutes, dude. I guarantee it. But I mean, it's really that. But I understand now because they're not together anymore now. So I understand where he was coming from because she's not Miss Innocent. And she proves that. She demonstrates that quite a bit. She does not make it a secret. She puts it out there. But anyway, back to what I was saying is that there's a fine line between being abusive and just simply not taking shit. Now, I'm single because I didn't want to take shit from my ex-girlfriend, so I left her. I dumped her.
It's not always physically, it could be verbally.
Yeah, it's not always physical. I never put, the only time I hugged her one time that was when we met at Applebee's. That's where she worked. We hugged each other. I would never, put my fist in her eye, nothing like that. But she was accusing me of saying things and conspiring against her with her kid's dad. It's like, you are fucking nutso. I've never met the kid's dad. I've never met the kid. So how the fuck could I be doing? Well, you really live in Owasso. Really? News to me.
What road?
If I live in Owasso, then why do we get tax receipts for Saginaw County?
Why the fuck would you come clear out here?
Owasso, we're not talking about that anymore. Owasso is not Saginaw County. Owasso is Shiawassee County. Why is it Saginaw sheriffs show up at the house, or used to show up at the house? They don't now. Not to scare anybody, but why do sheriffs come to the house when I dial 911? Oh, yeah, because I don't live in fucking Owasso. That's why.
Send a state boy. They can go anywhere.
Yeah, they can go anywhere in the state. They've been here too. And boy, was it fun embarrassing them. It was so fun to embarrass a law enforcement officer. If you're going to come, I understand you have a job to do. You're here on a service call. But if you have no other reason to be here, the fucking road runs east and west. Hit it, because I'm not going to listen to it.
I don't know who all is watching, but I will tell you all, thank you for coming and at least watching Jared's video today.
Oh, yeah.
Like Calvin Road, Jared.
I know one out of the three.
Just like Calvin Road, when I told that cop to fuck out of my
Yeah. And I don't hate law enforcement. I don't hate cops. I get along with the police department, the police force in Chesaning. I get along with Chesaning PD. I get along with the sergeant. I get along with the chief.
They're cool.
They're cool people. I talked to Sergeant Connor.
They always wave at us.
Sergeant Connor is awesome. I've talked to him out of uniform.
Even the chief will wave to us.
Yeah, Chief Short. Chief Short is a ginger like me. She's got a ponytail and she's really super sweet. And I'm not saying that to get out of a parking ticket, but because I don't have tickets, I don't have any kind of record. I don't have any fines or anything like that. But she always waves. She always waves. And Sergeant Connor is. I've talked to him out of uniform. I seen him one year. It was last summer, in fact. Last summer, he was in St. Charles at the Secretary of State's office, and we were getting our tags renewed for our license plates. And I, because I'm sitting in the room and I'm waiting to be called up so I could make my payment. And he came walking in, and it's like, God damn it, he looks so familiar, and I can't put my finger on it. It's because he was out of uniform. And they said, Scott, come on up. Scott Connor. That's right. And when Dad told me, did you see Sergeant Connor? I said, that's who the fuck it was. It was Sergeant Connor. And he says the same thing I do. We're here to pay our yearly extortion fee to the state. And that's what I say. That's what I call it, a yearly extortion fee. But then again, like I pointed out last week, I use the roads too. I mean, I should have to pitch in. But okay, but anyway, that was one of the cool things about, because talking to him when he's not in uniform is, he's just an everyday, ordinary, average guy. And even in uniform, he's really cool. So I don't have any beef with police, not personally. But yeah, I don't hate cops. I just don't like bad cops. They're on a power trip. If you come here making veiled threats and, I'm prepared to humiliate you, cop or not, get the fuck off my property. No one else came in other than Amy Marion. That's her over there. I wonder who that is. Off camera. Just wanted to see who else is in here. I'll reply to Riley, my buddy Rye guy. Whoops. I usually don't reply, but what the hell. Riley's my buddy. Anybody who tells me that they love me, I love you more. I love you right back. That's just how I am. I've heard it my whole life. 12 minutes? Well, we got 12 minutes to spare, don't we? Now, after I'm done here, I'm probably gonna record another editorial, which, by the way, the video that will be appearing on this channel on Friday is an editorial. I'm not gonna tell you what the subject matter is. These two might know. I'm not sure though. But if they do know, don't say anything. But I'm going to be typing out another editorial, and then I'm going to have a video, hopefully another video prepared for next week and the week after that. And I want to make it a Friday thing as opposed to, like the Daily Rant recordings. Those are whenever, whenever. But the editorials that I'm recording now, I want those to be like a Friday thing, kind of like this is a Sunday thing. I want for my editorials to be like a Friday thing. I'm hoping that you'll enjoy it. And it's just one more way for me to kind of garner more subscribers and people who can interact. And of course, I've got the live streams here on my Sunday video updates, and they can leave a comment or share their thoughts or whatever, which I encourage, but you're going to behave yourselves. And I'm always open to well, Jared, have you thought of it this way, or have you considered this, or look at it this way? I would be more than happy to consider looking at viewing things in a different way. Absolutely. But don't be a dick about it. Don't come in here saying, well, you're a fucking idiot, and blah, blah. Because calling me names does nothing for me other than shows me what kind of an asshole you are, and I'll drop you like a stone. But if you want to come in and have an actual intellectual conversation about certain topics and subjects, let's have the talk. Let's have the conversation. And if I don't know something, I'll tell you I don't know. And if you don't know something, just be honest and say, yeah, I don't know. That's what being honest and open is all about. Or I can learn. I don't know this now, but I can learn. It's like I don't know what it is about the answer I don't know. It scares people, especially with when people, because most people know that I'm a child of cancer survivor, and they say, well, someone even tried to tell me that I knew that there's a cure for cancer, when in fact, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. And they're like, come on, man, come on. No, motherfucker, I don't know. No, hold on. They say, what I'm saying is, I can't tell you there is a cure if there's really not, and I can't tell you there's not a cure if there really is. So my response to that is, I don't know. And I think it's the most appropriate answer I can give. And Dad was going to say that there was, I guess, a guy out there who cracked the code, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to say there is or there's not. And that scares the living shit out of people. And it frustrates people too, because it's like, well, as a survivor, how can you say that you don't know? Because I'm being honest. I don't fucking know, and neither do you. So stop pretending as though you do know. If you know that there is a cure, then demonstrate that. It's really that simple. That's a claim, which requires evidence. Much in the same way as people always say, well, awareness leads to cures. Bullshit. Bullshit. I've raised awareness for a very long time, and nothing changed. So show me evidence, and that'll probably be the subject of one of my editorials. I'm not going to say yes or no to that, but it might be, where I can extrapolate further on that subject. But don't pretend as though you know the answer to something when in fact you don't. When someone asks me, do you think there's a cure for cancer? I say, I don't know, because I really don't know, and neither do you. There is a guy named Don Holloway who I had to block because he was being a bitch in my messenger. And he's like, oh, come on, man, open your eyes. There is a cure. No, motherfucker, there's not. And you don't know that any more than anybody else. And I told him, I said, before you further embarrass yourself, I'm going to block you from sending any more messages. And then what did he do after the fact? He had written a long post on Facebook, tagging me in the post, attacking me. It's like, you got some nerve, you old bag of bones. You're going to attack me in a Facebook post, tag me in the post. What did that do? It didn't do shit. It didn't do shit to me. Nobody else gave a fuck. I laughed on the post. I put a laugh reaction because you're a fucking idiot. You don't come in my Facebook Messenger being a whiny little bitch, first of all. And second of all, you don't claim things that you don't know. You don't pretend that you know, and you don't get to say you know when in fact you don't know. I don't play those games. I have far too many friends out there whose children have died from cancer. You don't get to come in my messenger and tell me how a parent is supposed to feel or how I'm supposed to feel, because I will fucking set you on fire verbally. I will set you on fucking fire. I'm not the one. So I'm not the one to fuck with. Not when it comes to that. Don't pretend you know when you don't. How many minutes, timekeeper? 6 minutes. So I'll just let you say what you got to say now before we go. I'll give the floor to you, Dad.
Not for me.
Yeah, final words.
There's a lot of people that think everybody knows the question or the answers to a lot of questions, but they're still trying to figure out all those answers. They still haven't. They've done so much to try to find it, and they'll never find it. I can't say never because you don't know. Another thing, I don't know. They might find a cure for it one day, maybe, but we don't know.
And another thing, if you're making a claim that there is, show some evidence
Proof.
to back up your claim, because
Some proof.
evidence
Yeah.
to back up your claim. Because saying it is one thing, the number of people saying it is one thing, but that doesn't get us any closer to the truth.
Exactly.
You got to show some evidence for it. That's all I've been saying for ages. Amy, anything?
You could tell me it's raining fucking $100 bills outside. I'd have to walk out and look up.
Well, the only comment I have is back to your baby situation.
Okay.
Is yes, people do think of it as babysitting when they're younger.
And that's a mistake.
I learned from that mistake.
I hope so. Well,
The two mistakes.
you don't have children. I mean, you have children, but you can't have any more kids.
No,
And
thank God.
your kids are grown, but
I'll stick
at the
with
time,
ones I have.
at the time when you were pregnant with your children, you
Yeah,
thought
I
it was
17, turned 18 when I had my son.
Teenagers having kids. Babies
yeah,
having
babies having babies,
Babies
and
having babies
and
don't know the first thing about taking
they
care
think
of
it's
them.
so
The
easy.
parents have got to take care of those kids. Grandparents got
And
to take care of those babies.
and here's something else that I didn't talk about that I should have. I understand where people say that they want grandpa and grandma's marriage. I get it. I agree, but then I don't. Yes and no. Yes, I would like to have a relationship like that if I so chose, because that generation, when they got married back in the olden times, when they got married, it meant something.
Yeah.
People stuck together back then. I can't say everybody, but I'm talking about marriage. The couple stayed together. When there was a problem, they fixed it. They didn't run off and find somebody else and cheat on each other. They were faithful. Marriage meant something back then. So I understand that side of it. However, no, I don't want what grandpa and grandma's marriage. Why? Because at the same time, back in those days, women were submissive to men. That's not how it should be. Whatever the man says goes, and if the man doesn't get his way, he raises his fist. That's how he won power over the household. That's not happening today. So no, I wouldn't want that kind of relationship. On the same token, yes, it would be nice to have somebody who wouldn't, someone who is going to be faithful and stay with you through thick and thin. If there's a problem, you fixed it. But on the same side of that, or on the opposite side of that token, I don't want a woman to be submissive to me and my orders and my demands.
50-50 thing.
So it's yes and no.
50-50.
It's not even, well, I mean, yeah,
50-50.
a man does something for a woman does something for a man. Okay, fine. But I'm talking about, it's not bullying. I'm talking about the women being submissive to men. That's the old ideology. This is 2023. We don't do that anymore. So I'm glad that we don't have those old ideals about marriage where the woman has to be submissive to the man and his demands. But y'all get the drift. Y'all get what I'm saying. I'm going to check the time here myself because we are down to the last minute. So I thank you all for stopping in and indulging me for the last hour. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jared Bear. I'll be back next week on the 5th, is it? What's next Sunday? I think it's March 5th. It'll be the day after my brother's birthday. Amy's going to check real quick. We are going over a little bit. We just cracked the 1 hour mark, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay, the 5th. So I'll be back next week, Sunday, March 5th, 3 o'clock Eastern time. I love you all very much. I appreciate you stopping by. Be good to each other. Behave yourselves. And I'll see you next week. And stay tuned for brand new content. So much love and take care. I'm out. Peace.